Good.
Yeah, so I'll try to be a little shorter, probably like give you guys a couple minutes at the end to take a break for scrim. But we'll just look at Busan and kind of how we should be looking to play it, or um, how we position it on certain spots, stuff like that. This is not our first time playing against Cabal Comp on this map, but first time reviewing it. Our last time, I kind of explained more how to play against Brawl. Yeah, this is a little different. So we'll just go right in off the bat. Yeah, so it's just be fine. Okay, Beppo. So you see, we're on the Ash Sigma, right? And you see their ball rolling through. What should you do right now?
Go on there, back on.
Yeah, you should probably look to annoy their backline, right? Because you know that their Sombra, like, isn't playing. It can't really punish you as hard because their ball tracer is far away.
Mm-hmm.
If you like do get hacked, you know you can kind of play your corners or whatever, and you're not going to get punished by the enemy ball tracer because they're preoccupied.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, you go and you annoy their Briggs End so they can't really follow up on the dive, and then your team can push back in once dab's over. Same thing with you, Train. You can maybe look to get a little more aggressive. I know it's tougher for you, but maybe like going on point to shoot from here. Not really too much there, but and then again, I'm going to point out a little mini thing. I don't think it's too important, but we see kind of half the team splitting, cutting this way, half the team cutting, not half the, maybe Jacob's going this way. Which way do you think we should have gone?
Where the ashes inside.
Okay, well, label this one 1, this one 2. So, anybody here, who here thinks 1? Dapo and
Yeah, I think 1.
Andy, or does anybody think 2? No? Yeah, I'd actually argue probably 4-2. Now, I don't think it's a big difference, but more of the concept of why is because when we back up this little corner, right? When we want to go fight, are we playing really close to them, or are we playing far, like creating range? We're playing a little closer, right? Because we can't really spam them out in this little room. We can't really do much. But if we back up this way, we're constantly backing up within LS at the moment, which is really good for our comp because we have the Ash, we have the Sigma that benefits a lot more than the Diva and the Sombra. So it doesn't really matter. Like I don't.
Yeah,
Like,
because I was thinking going in because there's less places for ball to really get a slam off in there. That's what I
yeah,
was
but
thinking.
he already slammed, right?
Oh,
He
yeah,
already
you're right. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes
he
sense.
already engaged.
Yeah, that makes
Okay.
sense.
And also the other like the bigger problem here is that you guys rotate different ways, which kind of you lost the fight because of it. I mean, not a big deal. Okay, so something here. I'll just speed up a bit. Okay, so you know how we want to retake. When we're on soldier, how do we want to retake? What's our kind of how do you want to position? Who wants? Do we all want to stack up and kind of go from here?
No.
No.
No, right? Because when we do that, their ball's going to roll over different angles. They're going to have like angles all around us that we're going to be surrounded, and they're going to engage and kill us, obviously, because they have all the positioning. Where we do want to send somebody up here to, okay, we don't like this isn't like send someone up here to go flank the backline for a kill. This is send somebody up here so their ball tracer has to look at them a bit, and then the soldier can back up once they're still looking at it, and just pull attention away so we can walk through. Now we can't really do that on Ash, right? Because if Ash pokes out, she will get killed by the Sombra or whatever. So Polar, what can you do instead here on this map? You want to take you want to take angles, but you don't want to die, obviously.
Yeah, so I have to play more passive, maybe closer to our Briggs Zen.
Yeah, but then you run into the issue of if you're playing inside of your Briggs Zen and you try and walk out, right? What's their ball? Their ball's gonna have a really good engage on top of you. Their trace is gonna be on. Your Sombra's gonna be behind, and their Zen Brig are gonna be like, in a really good position, right? So we gotta find a different way to go in on Ash. Where can we go?
Can uh use the coach gun to like go up to that window. Maybe?
Yeah, this is a good spot. Like imagine like Archivs are ready to walk out. We have our tracer ball in position to maybe go in backline or draft ball a couple later. But then we just coach gun up. We maybe look for a dynamite. If their teammate wants to fly at you, just drop and go back to your team because your team's already got a bunch of space. You taken angles. You've drawn attention. That's really good. And then here, ball tracer. Okay, so it doesn't really matter right now. Just wait for a second. Okay, right now, maybe even before. Once you see the tracer here, you know the ball is going to be lurking somewhere around there. It should be at least. So, obviously, 3v2 is bad for the two people, but it's really good for these players. So immediately once we kind of saw the tracer over here, once you see that, just play around here and just distract them. If they go and roll through and engage in backline, that just opens up you to go and engage in backline, right? The exact same thing on train. You don't want to sit here and duel the tracer and the somber and the ball inside of the Briggs LS when you're outside of your Briggs LS. But if you just pull them back and you play around here and distract them, then they're gonna have to stand here and your team has the advantage. I mean, this is just kind of scrappy. Yeah, Paljo. And you can still bob from up here. Like you can't hit a bob on the, back there or whatever.
I think I tried to actually, but it hit the little railing above the.
I know. You went from over here though, right? Oh wait, did you go up there? Oh, you did. Okay, that's good actually. Maybe you can't. No, maybe walk tiny bit forward next time. I don't know. If you can't,
I'll go into a custom before scrim and figure it out.
That was more of like some stuff on the Ash and the ball tracer. Oh, we do win actually. Forgot. So immediately we set up pretty good, right? I mean, I'll keep harping on Polar, but we're back a bit. Where would you start here instead of? Where would you start? Where would you start next time? You're against ball comp. Your backline set up around here. Where would you want to be this time?
Probably like I don't really know, to be honest.
I would probably go like right here, right? You have LS. They can't really just like dive you off the bat. They kind of have to set up a bit. And if you see them setting up, it's all right. I'm positioning as the fight goes on dynamically or whatever. You see the ball tracer over there. I back up and I can play main and play a different angle. Not big deal. And this also allows this information. Let's see if you guys do. So backline here, if we know the ball tracer are occupied or doing something else, and we know that again, there's 3 people in the enemy team. There's kind of like less than ours, or more. Our backline's a little more stronger. Their flankers a little stronger. If that makes sense. So we know when they're occupied, we should be really making sure their Briggs End can't walk through this choke. Our Sig, you should be like posted up right here. Once you know the balls like on the opposite side of the map, Briggs End maybe push up farther up here or whatnot, and then make sure you can. You don't need to run this room, but you're not letting them have any space at all. It's gonna get scrappy. I mean, spots like this a lot. I mean, tiny little thing again, but this is like a good example of a spot Summers like to play when they just want to hack ball, like we thought about on the other point, where they kind of sat behind, wait for you to walk in, then hack you from behind. So I mean, be more ready for it than I don't know. It's easier said than done, obviously, but it kind of screws us over a lot. Take a lot of damage. You guys actually play this pretty well. Not perfectly or not, nothing, but like right now, Jacob, you should be. We should try and play because we have point. We can play on that and have our Briggs End play this angle, pull or go around, play around here, or it's like right here if he needs to. I mean, kind of think of retaking the similar way against ball, and same with brawl, like we talked about on the other VOD we did, where we have our Briggs End Diva play this high ground. It's a safe spot for our Briggs End, has some good angles. Our soldier play main. Again, it's a different angle, but it's really passive, right? The ball tracer can't really dive you from here, and then our ball tracer can actually touch point. Now, I kind of explained it yesterday, but a little easier for me to explain now, is because when you're touching point on this map and other maps as well, the enemy backline has to move on, like they have to move to deal with you. Where if the enemy backline was set up right, let's say they're all set up right here, and I think we can just fast forward a bit. They're set on this side. So if they're set up on this high ground, there would be no point touching point because they would just shoot you on point. They wouldn't move at all. Where if they're set up over here like they are, they have to then rotate to help, like to deal with you, which then allows your backline to walk in. Because that's the whole point of touching points. Let your backline walk and rotate. Or on a map like Mecha Base, where they're set up, it has almost a point, so they don't have to do anything to deal with you. So it's a lot better in this map. I think it's the same idea where they have the Sombra, so you don't want to fight them on point. You just want to bring their attention, call that out, and that lets our backline kind of walk in the side ground and then drop in. We can look to, quote unquote, brawl with them with a soldier on an egg. A little risky for a soldier to do it. Take a whole bunch of spam main. Yeah, we didn't really have a game plan. We probably didn't really know what to do against that. Not a big deal. Okay, so we go to point. Right, this is really good for us, right? Probably like there's Sombra misplays and isn't really like she's in B, but no, she doesn't. So she should be helping out on point. But so if right now when I see the ball tracer come back, I can just call to my team that we can walk, and I'll probably back up a player on here. You guys get lucky that they don't punish you and hack you here. But right now, for example, I can tell we didn't really communicate this before the fight too well. Either the backline didn't listen or whatnot. But we should be walking up here, and then it's probably dropping like this, and then looking to walk into them again. So we're not really ready. So I'll try and write down what the perfect fight is. So we have, or what for that example at least, is we have our Briggs End go up here, soldier again, play main, and our ball tracer go point. We touch point, their ball tracer goes deal with us, we back up. We don't need to like run back to our spawn, but just don't die, right? Our Briggs End walk this way, they pop rally, we pop rally, we brawl with them. Our soldier then has an angle, right? Because he can walk up main a bit. Around here, we play like right here. And then we're automatically at advantage because we have the soldier, they have the Sombra. The Sombra's, around point. Their ball tries to roll through for dive. We then roll through dive, and it gets kind of scrappy from there. But at least we're in the fight. And then, in the mid fight, obviously, it comes down to a lot of individual stuff, positioning, mechanics. cooldowns for that. We rotate this way. How do we just get the? We're kind of super indecisive of where we want to go. For next time, I'd probably set up. If you want to like scout once you know they're on like a sort of ball comp, we probably want to have our Sig, Brig, Zen walk this way. Our soldier play main, and our ball tracer maybe play like either point or probably just around point, like a wall. So a spot where they're ready to engage, but they're not like at the threat of dying. Because we have more standard, see the soldier they saw that. Now, when we look at the LOS here of soldier, we can fight anywhere, just we can't fight inside of here. So we go up. We probably could have been a little faster, like I talked about. Maybe a bit too much spam from Beppo. Tuesday kind of just walked up. We weren't really set up in a position. What was kind of an Narnia? I mean, I'm not like just like 5 mistakes from everybody. But yeah, that's kind of how we'd like to play it. We have our soldier play point, our Briggs end play over here, our ball tracer maybe pressure point. If they want to walk into the Sig Briggs end, you just kite back. The ball looks for an engage. Soldier maybe can spam them as well. If they just want to pressure Beppo on point, we just have our Briggs end help Beppo. Our soldier is a really good LOS. We should win that as well. This fight, I kind of screwed you guys. Like, thinking about it afterwards. This is probably a pretty bad rotation for me to go this side. Doesn't really. It takes too much time for you to win the fight, so you give a bunch of cap space. Plus, it doesn't really sound like better than the other side at all. But I kind of gimmed you at this time where it's like you died because you're trying to fight on point as they're rotating, so you cut yourself resources, and even the pressure you take from the enemy team, it's useless because like we don't need it. Where if we're trying to walk to point and we're in the midst of getting pressured by their ball, the tracer, if you can pull the attention away from them, that's really good because we can walk, but they're not pressuring at all. But again, pretty bad rotation call from me. Like I remember I helped you guys out with that, but I kind of screwed you over. I'll probably retake this side. I guess it's a little better because once you take this side, you can have because you have better LOS, you can. It's better for Polar, especially because you can help like angles he wants to take. But right here, if you're Zen's playing here, it's kind of cut off. Like you can't play main. You have no LOS for support, where you can kind of help him out wherever he wants to go. The other side. Again, we played the fight similar to how we played the first fight, where we'd have our Sig, Break Zen. I made it highlighter. Play this side. We should do yellow. And this, that's a terrible color to use. Great. From this side, right? Polar pressure's main. Ball tracer player main, like point somewhat. If they're pressuring Beppo, and Beppo and Train just play really passive, we help them out with harmonies, packs, Zen orbs, soldier gun, whatever, and then we can fight from there. Kind of just disjointed here. We didn't really know what to do. We get EMP'd. All right, so I know it can get a little boring for some people there, but just kind of have a better idea of what we can do next time. Or kind of how you want to retake and stuff like that. Any questions from people? Things they disagree with? No, we're all good. All right.
Yeah.
So the main idea is just like make sure we way you can think about it is having like your Zen be, the centerpiece, and everyone else take as many angles as you can within LOS of that Zen, right? Because that's your backline. This could also be a Baptiste, right? The thing with Baptiste, he's all less range. So the range you can like the LOS he has is much shorter. So you can't play here if you have a Bap, but you can as a Zen because it can help you out there. If you have a Moira, same idea where you can't really take too many angles with me a Moira because you have so little range is healing. You can't really help anybody out on flank, stuff like that. On the same thing. But we're trying to take as many angles as possible. That's the big thing within the LOS. We're not just trying to, like, we're getting cut out from Sombra a lot. We're going from this way or Ball Paljash because we're kind of like all the way around. This goes for other maps as well. And backline too. Like, it's not just, play around me. It's, I'm actually going to the right spots. Which, like, over here, I take the blame for that. But that spot's bad because it doesn't allow anybody to do anything because it's so cut off because of walls and cover and stuff like that. So yeah, should be the big things for this map. Try your best to take it to other maps as well. That'll be it. You can probably stop recording.
Alright, so basically, Beppo and I are trying to force a rotation if our backline needs space to rotate. If they don't need space to rotate, we just live and play the long fight since we're pokier and eventually we'll win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Think of it as like once we have our Zen in the best spot he can be, we can look to do stuff.
Yeah.
But we can't. Yeah. But everything. So like step 1, like setup. Step 2 is like engage. Right. Setup is this is stuff like fighting the enemy ball tracer, just annoying them so our Zen can rotate. This is touching point. If it's vice versa, let's say we're in the summer comp and they're on the more pokier comp, like double shield or something like that. Like this is like what I call like soft engaging, where I'm playing tracer, I'm just like shooting Diana just so she looks at me, throws a sleep dart or whatever, like just annoys me. On ball, I'm just like pile driving the Ashe, not to kill her. Like if she coach guns away, I'm not going to chase her down, but just to get her off an angle so our backline can rotate. And then once their backline's in a really, really good spot, that allows, like our Zen Brigs are here, our Sig is on point, our Soldiers on an off angle. We have all these different sight lines. A better map for me to illustrate this would actually be
All right, what did I miss?
TLDR the whole half hour, please.